Good morning, students. I hope you are all fine. It's our social studies class, and in this class, I will recap the chapter which we studied in the previous class, and I will also help you to solve worksheet and question answers. Dear students, in our previous class, we studied unit number 9, which is science and exploration. We learned about the Islamic Golden Age when knowledge and science developed greatly. The ruler Al Mamun established the House of Wisdom, where scholars studied and translated books into Arabic. We also discussed famous scholars like Muhammad ibn Musa al Khwarizmi, who developed algebra, and Ibn Sina, who wrote an important book on medicine. We also learned about scientists such as Galileo and explorers like Magellan. Today we will briefly recap the chapter and then solve the worksheet together. Dear students, in the chapter we have a first heading, that is the Islamic Golden Age. The Islamic Golden Age was a period when science, knowledge, and learning greatly developed in the Muslim world. By about 750, Islam had spread across a large part of the world. During this time, Muslim rulers encouraged education, research, and scientific study. One important ruler was Al Mamun. He collected many books from different parts of the world and placed them in a famous center of learning called the House of Wisdom. The House of Wisdom was not only a library but also a place where scientists, mathematicians, philosophers, and scholars met to study and discuss ideas. Al Mamun encouraged students to translate books from different languages into Arabic. These books included the knowledge of ancient Greek, Persian, and Indian scholars. Translators were rewarded generously, and sometimes they were paid the weight of the translated book in gold. At that time, the printing press had not yet been invented. However, Muslims had learned from the Chinese how to make paper, which made it easier to copy books. Scholars and students copied books by hand, allowing knowledge to spread across the Islamic world. Now, dear students, moving towards another topic, that is Muslim scholars. During the Islamic Golden Age, many scholars made important contributions to science and knowledge. One famous mathematician was Al Khwarizmi. He studied at the House of Wisdom in Baghdad in the 9th century. His work in mathematics was very important because he developed algebra and helped introduce the decimal system. Many mathematical and scientific words that we use today actually come from the Arabic language. Scientists also used scientific instruments to study the earth and the sky. Skilled craftsmen made tools such as the astrolabe. The astrolabe helped scientists measure the positions of stars and the height of celestial objects in the sky. This instrument was very useful for travelers because it helped them find directions across deserts and seas. It was also used to calculate prayer times in different places. Another important scholar was Ibn Sina, who is also known as Avicenna. He lived in the 11th century and wrote a very famous book on medicine. His medical book was so detailed and advanced that it was used as a textbook in universities for about 600 years. This shows how important the work of Muslim scholars was for the development of science and medicine. Now, dear students, another topic is science in Europe. In the 12th century, European scholars began to study the work of ancient scientists and also learn from the knowledge preserved by Muslim scholars. This exchange of knowledge helped Europe enter a period of scientific discovery and invention. Another important development during this time was the invention of printing. Before printing, books were copied by hand, which was slow and difficult. With printing, books could be produced much faster, allowing knowledge to spread more widely. In 1543, two very important scientific books were published. The first book was written by Copernicus, a Polish scientist. He proposed a new idea about the structure of the universe. Copernicus explained that the Earth and other planets move around the Sun, while the stars remain fixed. However, at that time, the Christian Church believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and the Sun and stars moved around the Earth. Because Copernicus' ideas challenged this belief, people were not allowed to read his book. The second important book was written by Vesalius, a scientist from Flanders. He studied the human body and wrote a detailed book explaining its structure. To understand the body properly, Vesalius dissected human bodies. His work greatly improved the study of human anatomy. Dear students, our next topic is astronomy. Astronomy is the study of the sun, moon, stars, and planets. Before the invention of telescopes, scientists studied the sky only with their naked eyes. In 1608, a spectacle maker from the Netherlands named Lippershey accidentally discovered that when two lenses were placed in front of each other, far away objects appeared larger. This invention became the telescope. Soon after this, the Italian scientist Galileo built his own telescope in 1609 and began observing the sky. Galileo carefully recorded his observations and made drawings of what he saw. His observations supported the theory of Copernicus that the Earth and other planets move around the Sun, while the Moon moves around the Earth. However, the Church did not accept these ideas because they contradicted religious teachings. As a result, Galileo was punished and kept as a prisoner in his own home for the rest of his life. Despite this, Galileo continued his scientific work and made important contributions to astronomy. Now, dear students, moving towards another topic, and that is Galileo. Galileo also performed important scientific experiments. Many people believed that heavy objects fall faster than lighter ones. Galileo proved that this belief was incorrect. According to a famous story, he dropped cannonballs from the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa to demonstrate that objects fall at the same rate regardless of their weight. Galileo also attempted to prove that light takes time to travel. He conducted an experiment with another person standing on a distant hill, using lanterns to measure the time it took for light to be seen. However, light travels so quickly that it was very difficult to measure the exact time. Scientists also began using lenses to develop new instruments. One of these was the microscope, which allowed scientists to observe very small objects such as insects and snowflakes. Galileo also created a special type of thermometer containing small balls of different weights. These balls moved up and down in a liquid depending on temperature changes. Our next topic is explorers. During this period, European traders and explorers began traveling across oceans instead of just along coastlines. They traveled long distances to trade goods such as silk from China and spices from the Indian subcontinent. One famous explorer was Magellan. In 1519, he began a journey with five ships on behalf of the King of Spain. His goal was to teach Asia by sailing west instead of east. During the voyage, his ships crossed both the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Unfortunately, Magellan was killed during the journey. However, the remaining sailors continued traveling, and after 3 years, one ship finally returned to Spain. This voyage became the first successful journey around the world. Our last topic is maps. Maps have always been important for travel and exploration. Early map makers during ancient times and the Islamic Golden Age were mostly scholars who study maps rather than traveling themselves. However, during the 15th and 16th centuries, European rulers began sending scholars and map makers along with explorers and traders on sea voyages. Their purpose was to create more accurate maps of new lands. These maps helped European countries improve trade and also expand their influence. Countries such as Portugal, Spain, Britain, France, and the Netherlands competed to discover and control new territories. As explorers traveled more and more, maps gradually became more accurate and detailed. Now, dear students, we have revised the whole chapter. Let us check how much you remember. Now, we will solve the worksheet together. First, we will solve MCQs, then fill in the blanks, and finally, we will solve true and false. So, for it, my dear students, please open your worksheets and I will help you to solve the worksheet. Okay? Now, dear students, first we will solve MCQs. First is Islam had spread across a large part of the world by about dash. So the correct answer here is 750 because the text states that Islam had spread widely about 750. Now, number two, House of Wisdom is a huge library in Dash. So it's in Persia. The House of Wisdom was in Baghdad, now in Iraq, which was a part of the Persian region historically. Now, number third, Al Mamun paid scholars to translate books into Dash. So, correct answer is Arabic because books were translated into Arabic so Muslim scientists could study them. Number four, Fatima Al-Firi paid for mosque and dash. So its here is madrasa because a mosque had a madrasa means school for learning. Number 5. Al-Khwarizmi invented dash and decimal point. So it's algebra. The mathematician Al-Khwarizmi developed algebra and the decimal system. Now, number six, Ibn Sina wrote a famous book on dash. So it is medicine. Because Ibn Sina wrote a famous medical book used in universities for about 600 years. So now, number seven, many words in science and mathematics come from dash. So its correct answer is Arabic because many scientific terms such as algebra, algorithm come from Arabic language. Number eight, Dash wrote a book about human body. So its correct answer is Visalis. Visalis wrote a book explaining the structure of the human body. Dear students, number 9. Galileo made a telescope in dash. So correct answer is 1609. In text we have read Galileo built his improved telescope in 1609. So students, number 10, Leaning Tower of Pisa is in dash. So it's in Italy. The famous Leaning Tower of Pisa is located in Italy. Now, dear students, we will solve filling the blanks. First one is instruments makers used lenses like the ones in a dash. So its answer is telescope because microscopes and other tools used lenses similar to those in a telescope. Number 2, light travels dash kilometer in 1 second. So exact answer is 300,000. Light travels about 300,000 kilometer per second, which is extremely very fast. Now, number 3 is in dash Magellan sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. So, correct answer is 1519. In 1519 began his voyage around the world. So, number 4, Ibn Sina is also known as dash. So, correct answer is Avicenna. Now, students, number 5 is the word algebra comes from dash. So, its correct answer is al-jabr. The word algebra comes from the Arabic term al-jabr. Now, dear students, write these question and answers in your neat copies. First question is, what did European traders buy in Asia? Answer is, European traders bought silk from China and spices from the Indian subcontinent. Question number 2, why do you think they came all the way to Asia for these? They came to Asia because silk and spices were rare and very valuable in Europe. Question number 3 is, in which direction did Magellan sail to get to Asia from Europe? Answer is, Ferdinand Magellan sailed west from Europe to reach Asia. Now, question number 4. What problems do you think sailors had when they sailed to new places? Answer is sailors had many problems such as storms, getting lost, lack of food and water, and diseases. Question number 5 and last. How was their journey different from a journey around the world today? Answer is in the past, journeys were slow and dangerous because there were no modern ships, maps, or navigation technology. Today, travel around the world is faster and safer.